what happened this week. Taipei is responding to a Financial Times report that Taiwan is eyeing a $15 billion arms sale from the U.S., with Defense Minister Wellington Gu saying the country is still taking an asymmetric approach to its defense, pushing for smaller, more mobile weapons. The report says the arms deal includes the F-35 fighter jet. But does Taiwan really need the system? Jaime Ocon reports.
This is the U.S. F-35. It's the most advanced fighter jet in the world, and Taiwan is reportedly looking to acquire the aircraft. But its high cost and sensitive military technology have prompted many observers to question just how effective this system would be for the country's defense. Taiwan's military told TaiwanPlus that it will always procure the weapons it believes it needs to create a robust defense. And Taiwan's defense minister says he won't say anything more on the potential sale.
特定的武器装备等等的，我想我并不适宜，我们都不会在任何公开智慧国会之前，我们做任何公开的说明。
The question came up after a Financial Times article revealed potential plans for Taiwan to spend over $15 billion on U.S. weapons and systems. Systems like retired U.S. destroyers, air defense missiles, and the F-35. Taiwan is already working to upgrade its existing fleet of F-16 fighter jets, and there have been calls for the country to try and modernize other aircraft in its fleet. Analysts say the F-35's ability to land and take off vertically without needing a full runway is one reason to consider buying the jet.
And that is actually one of the potential solutions to Taiwan's security problems, right, from China, that airports and runway getting greater. So that is one thing that I said that the F-35B is one thing that Taiwan's been looking for.
The Financial Times quotes a former Trump administration official as saying that Taiwan's decision to go big on the U.S. arms sale is to demonstrate that it is fully committed to defending itself. But skeptics say that the fighter's high price tag is not worth it. The base cost of one variant of the F-35 is roughly $83 million, while some variants of Taiwan's F-16 have a base cost of $70 million. And that's just to acquire the aircraft. After that, Taiwan would still need to pay for the infrastructure and support needed to maintain the jets. And some analysts say they do little for the country's defense.
And this isn't the first time that there has been, quiet feeling out of each other on potential F-35 sales. But I think that it's a very short-sighted move. Ultimately, American political leaders are going to look at how much Taiwan is resisting PRC aggression, how long Taiwan can hold out. And F-35s don't address either of those questions.
Many observers say that while Taiwan does need more modern equipment, it could use its limited defense budget on more effective systems like mines, missiles, and communications. But whether or not those kinds of investments show Taipei's commitment to defense will be up to interpretation from the incoming U.S. administration. John Su and Jaime Ocon for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwanese chip giant TSMC has said they won't comment on reports that the U.S. ordered the company to stop all sales and shipments of advanced AI chips to China. As Chris Gorn reports, it could just be the latest in a series of moves by Washington.
Taiwanese chip giant TSMC is once again in the media spotlight. Recent reports say the U.S. was behind the company's decision to end all sales of 7-nanometer chips to China beginning on Monday. Reports TSMC is calling market rumors. The 7-nanometer chips are the kind used to train advanced AI models. If true, giving the order to halt shipments of them would represent yet another step by the U.S. to use export controls to slow down China's progress in technologies like AI. The controls have been in place since October 2022, so while sudden, moves like this one aren't exactly new.
I think that this has happened at all. It's not entirely surprising. Now, as for the timing, that is perhaps a little unusual. This has happened just after the election, but then again, the Trump administration does not formally assume office till January. And we haven't seen an annual update to the export controls rule in October this year, which has been the case for the last 2 years. So perhaps this dovetails with a planned update by the end of the year.
The move also comes after TSMC chips were reportedly found inside equipment from Chinese company Huawei, a prime target of U.S. restrictions. China, for its part, has strongly opposed the measures from the start.
美方将科技和经贸问题政治化、工具化、武器化，阻挡不了中国发展，只会封锁自己，反噬自身。
But the tech competition between China and the U.S. leaves companies like TSMC caught in the middle. TSMC is the biggest company in Taiwan, and it produces 90% of the world's most advanced chips. And it's those chips that power the AI economy. With both China and the United States going all out to try and win the AI race, TSMC has become a major focus of both powers. While geopolitics may hinder TSMC from making certain business decisions, even losing access to the China market may not cripple it.
So based on quarterly earning reports from TSMC, their Chinese exposure has been anywhere from 12 to 16%. Obviously, there will be some pain as a business. You want to sell as many chips as possible. So any loss is one loss too many. But then will this loss be fatal in any way or severely undermine their bottom line and ability to stay competitive? I think not for TSMC.
Regardless of the financial effect of this latest move, businesses and governments across the Asia-Pacific are becoming more accustomed to tightening trade restrictions as the centerpiece of U.S. tech strategy. Devin Tsai and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
TSMC employees in the U.S. are suing the chipmaker for alleged discrimination in its hiring practices. According to Forbes, the lawsuit says TSMC, a Taiwanese company, favors Mandarin-speaking employees in its new plant in the state of Arizona. The lawsuit alleges other employees are discriminated against in hiring, promotions, and contract renewals. TSMC has declined to comment on the case, but says it values a diverse workforce. The chipmaker has been battling labor issues in Arizona, forcing the company to delay the fab's opening. A Taiwanese journalist has accused suspended Taiwan People's Party chair Wen-je of sexual harassment.
当然没有，我就说，那个柯主席这样子在新闻部的会议室对我摸我的手，对我进行性骚扰，我们都给了他具体的时间、空间，给他道歉。他道歉就好了。对他必须要珍惜，所以我不知道他懂不懂得珍惜。
Ke is currently in detention for suspected corruption during his time as mayor of Taipei. He's being held incommunicado and is not able to comment on the harassment accusations. Ke took leave from his role as the head of the Taiwan People's Party earlier this year. Lawyers in Taipei are protesting changes to the judiciary system, proposals they say could bring the Constitutional Court to a standstill. The legislature is considering amendments to raise the threshold for making a constitutional ruling. The proposal would require 10 out of 15 justices to agree, instead of the current simple majority. With only 8 justices sitting on the bench now, protesters warn passing the amendments may paralyze the court's operations. Taiwan's Constitutional Court has ruled on major issues impacting society, such as same-sex marriage and the death penalty. To learn more about the pushback over the judicial reform bill, I spoke with attorney Wei Shenghong. Can you tell me more about this judicial reform bill? What exactly is being proposed?
这一次他们提的是宪法诉讼法的修正案，事实上条文不多，但是他们希望把这个大法官的无论如何在大法官即使有缺额没有顺利通过任命的情况，少于这个15位的情况，都要以15位来计算。那同时把同意的门槛也提高到2/3，也就是无论大法官的宪法法庭有几位，只有超过10位的大法官同意的时候，才有可能做成宪法判决。那这个结果也会让，如果像现在我们台湾的现在的宪法法庭只剩下8位大法官，他就不能够做成，在新法通过之后，他就不能够做成任何的宪法判决。
Proponents of the bill say that raising the threshold for judicial decisions would actually increase the fairness of these decisions. What are your concerns about this?
我想分几个部分。第一个，宪法法庭其实不是在宪法上不是一个民主机关真正要负责民主多元的是立法院。那第二个就是说，台湾社会很多争议的判决，其实不是透过 这个少数法官来做人决定。我们大法官在这些像同婚案、死刑案，其实都是有高度共识的。所以这个是一个就是透过这次的宪法诉讼法说要来针对宪法法庭来做这样的改革，是一个假议题。那第三个就是说，如果新法通过之后，我们担心，因为大法官要负责对于人权侵害案件的国家权力的违宪的案件来做判决。新法通过之后是不会有大法官针对这些判决来做成违宪的判决。那大法官也要负责对于总统、副总统的违法来行使弹劾来做弹劾的判决。那如果大法官的门槛提高到这么高，我们也担心日后宪法法庭停止运作之后也不会有国家机关能够针对这个总统、副总统的违宪来做成弹劾。
The Constitutional Court recently ruled that laws expanding the power of the legislature are partially constitutional. Do you think this call for now judicial reform is pushback for that decision?
有观察者是这样说，那台湾过去刚才这个李全和律师也提到，过去其实也确实有很多案例，立法者被宣告违宪之后，用这个来做回应或者是甚至报复的手段。那这一次确实很多社会观察认为有这个情况，那也会创造很多宪政上面的危险。
That was Wei Shenghong, attorney at law. Taipei's delegation to this year's APEC summit is hoping to drive home the importance of Taiwanese tech on the global stage, while maintaining connections with the event's host. Reese Ayers reports from Peru.
Taiwanese tech can help solve global issues. A message being broadcast around Lima during this year's APEC summit, with Taiwan taking out ad space on billboards across the Peruvian capital, as business leaders and officials head to Peru for the annual economic forum. Leading Taiwan's delegation is Lin Xin-yi, former economy minister, who's emphasized the range of areas Taiwan's tech can be used.
当然，这当中，数位医疗、农业以及中小企业是我们台湾的强项。
Taiwan produces around 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors, powering much of the planet's AI and computer systems. It's that tech, the delegation reminds, that makes Taiwan an indispensable part of the global community.
强调的是也是呼应今年秘鲁年会的主题“赋权、包容跟成长”，也就是说，台湾用一颗晶片来驱动世界的繁荣动力。
Taiwan is hoping to create new opportunities through APEC. It has long had relations with Peru, though not official. The two countries each host an economic and cultural office in their capital cities to engage with communities in both countries.
我们长期协助秘鲁的这个非政府组织呢，还有大型的这个媒体集团呢，进行社会辅助的一个工作。从过去3年呢，我们已经有捐助过超过200吨的一个食材，对于秘鲁贫困人民的一个生活上面的辅助，贡献一些台湾来的心力。
The billboards across Lima echo a mantra Taipei has been broadcasting for years: Taiwan can help. It's a message Taiwan's delegation hopes to convey throughout the economic forum, building on existing relations, while looking ahead to the future of Taiwan in Peru and the rest of the global community. Scott Huang, Harrell Hughes, and Reese Ayers in Lima, Peru for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's representative to APEC, Lin Xin-yi, has met with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Peru. The two met on the sidelines of the summit in Lima, discussing how to continue strengthening the Taiwan-U.S. partnership at all levels. They also spoke about regional stability and development. Direct exchanges between the U.S. and Taiwan are rare, as the two countries do not share official ties due to pressure from China. Earlier at the APEC summit, Chinese representatives pressured host country Peru to take down a sign promoting Taiwan. Beijing considers the country as part of its own territory. Thank you for watching. Here's what happened. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, let's take a stroll at London's Kew Garden as it lights up for Christmas. I'm Tiffany Wong. Take care and see you next time.
For more news from Taiwan and the world, follow TaiwanPlus on social media.